Hey everybody, Matty here again. Turns out this is going to turn into like whenever I feel I need to. Saturday and Sunday is definitely a must, but this is like kind of like a video diary, I guess you could call it. And I think it'd be pretty cool. It helps me out a lot just talking. Maybe it helps someone else, maybe it doesn't. I did notice someone did subscribe. I don't know if that was a pity sub, but you can let yourself be known. It is set to private, so I don't know who it is. I appreciate it either way. I hope you get something out of the videos. What I got going on right now is, I just woke up having a habit I wish I never picked up. I've done heroin, coke, crack, drank, ecstasy, fucking you name it. And I've been able to kick everything. Cigarettes are very hard. I wake up in the middle of the night and have to smoke. I gotta smoke in the morning. I've tried vaping, I've tried switching to chew, I've tried patches, I tried gum, I tried Chantix. Nothing seems to stop me from smoking. But what I got going on right now is just, my morning routine. This morning I got up, I was supposed to go to my daughter's play group. Me, my ex, and her. We're trying to do the, apart but united around her, which is good. Turns out we were going to be about an hour and a half late to her play group, and it's only 2 hours long, so it didn't seem right to even go. I mean, we could have showed up, but the half hour, that's kind of defeating the purpose. I was like, she can get more exposure if you just take her out to breakfast. So they went to breakfast, I went home. Still good. I got to wake her up, get her ready for the day, give her a kiss, play with her, so that was cool. What I got going on that you missed out on was yesterday I got up, I hung around, I played a little bit of computer games just to decompress. 2 nights ago I got an hour's sleep, so I was gonna make a post last night, but I was just too tired, and last night I only got about 3 hours of sleep. I don't seem to sleep much, and it's neither here nor there. I was up having you could call it a passionate discussion with my girlfriend. I just had to have the same conversation with my ex. Somewhere in my head, I have a million reasons not to, and I feel like every reason I have not to is a reason I should. The decision I have to make, and I've been looking for people's input on that are close to me and have been important to me, is whether or not I re-enlist. Everybody tells me, what about your daughter? What about me? What about your future here? I'm getting into rental property, every relationship, all this stuff, and I just feel I have to go, so that's something I'm going to have to sort out. I do start therapy tomorrow, which should help me out. A little pissed off this morning that I didn't get to the play group. She wasn't ready till about 9. I had my daughter up and ready. I woke up 10 minutes to 8. My girlfriend called me trying to help me out, make sure I was awake. She called me at 7:30. I snoozed my alarm till around 10 at 8, and then went over there, got my daughter up, got her ready, gave her a snack, her sippy, and my ex wasn't ready till fucking almost 9 o'clock. Pisses me off. I don't always do everything right. I'm not anywhere close to a perfect person, but I do try my best to, when I say I'm going to be someplace at a certain time, I try to be there. So it bothers me when other people are late. It bothers me when I'm late because of other people. Because I told my ex that I would go to the play group, so I made damn sure I got up, even though I was tired. I went to bed at 5 o'clock. I woke up at 10 to 8. And I got my ass out of bed. I went over there and showed up when I was supposed to. And to me, there was a, second-hand commitment made that we were going to be at the play group. Even if it wasn't me, Emma was going to be at the play group, and that was also missed out on. And it does bother me, but that's, it's an unwarranted expectation. Like, shit happens. I don't know how Jess slept. I don't know anything, really. Like, that could just be her. I'm pretty sure it's her. She's got to try to look her best everywhere she goes. And as you can see, I'm very much into I just roll out of bed. And that's all I really got going on that's new. My head's been a little weird. And yeah. Part of the thing I was talking to my girlfriend about last night about this service issue, because she feels like I'm going to be walking out on her again. My previous video I explained that whole situation, and she feels like everything's getting right on track again, and I'm just going to leave again. And I do understand where she's coming from. I really do. And you know, she's a crunchy granola hippie, and I'm a fucking redneck. Can't really shake it. I have that weird sense of nationalism. I don't agree with war. I'm anti-war, but I won't fight for the government. I won't do that. I won't have anybody tell me, hey, you know, we need oil. You know, these people fucking posted something mean on Twitter. We gotta deploy. We gotta handle this shit. But I know people do have that sense of patriotism to that level. You know, Uncle Sam calls, I'll pick up the phone type of people. And those are good people. I met a lot of those people. Better men than me, and they're not here anymore. And that's what draws me in. You know, you hear that thing on all over the place. I hear it all over town. You know, if you can't stand behind troops, go stand in front of them. And I don't like to do either. I like to stand next to them. That's where my heart is. You know, I won't fight for the government, but I'll fight so some guy in Texas can make it back home to his kids. And my girlfriend doesn't seem to understand that. She's very liberal, and you know, she brings up, like most liberals do, it's just a war to shoot at brown people. Or when I was talking about doing National Guard to at least maybe do some hospitality work, because they do when there's a natural disaster, as much as you disagree with them or not. Katrina, guardsmen were there. Haiti, guardsmen and Marines were there. You know, we do border patrol, and as soon as I brought that up, you know, she's like, oh, just, you know, reason to point guns at brown people. And she's white. I don't like to touch topic on racism, because I'm white. I'm never going to know what it's like. I can't wrap my head around it. Part of me wants to go, oh yeah, I can understand how you feel. I don't. I'm a 25-year-old straight white male. You know, regardless of my life, I've said this before, I was born into privilege. That's how it is. I don't think I've earned it more than anybody else. I think it's fucking a shame that people can't just be born and that's who they are. And it is very much the path you choose. But we do very much live in a system that doesn't let you choose your path. I didn't get to choose my path. You know, I'm walking on an easy path. As long as I stay sober and try to do what I'm supposed to do, I win. Nobody's going to get in my way. It's really fucked up. I don't know what it's like to be a female either. You know, we just went through it. When I go look at an apartment building to buy, I'm treated with respect. People stick their hands out to me, talk to me. You know, I'm not talked down to. I'm not fucking patronized. Nothing. I've been with my girlfriend for her to check out a house. And they either talk to me or they talk to her uncle. They barely recognize that she's there. And any question she asks, you know, she's asked questions that I needed answered because I didn't know. And I know damn well she asked and they fucking talked down to her. They made her feel stupid, and I could hear it in their tone. If I asked a question, they would have just told me the answer. That's fucked up. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to be anything other than a straight white male. That's not my fault. That doesn't mean I'm a racist. You know, I don't know. I don't like to touch on it. It's a very yucky topic, and I'm at Morgan Freeman's standpoint. I saw a really good interview with him. He was talking about Black History Month, and he was talking to this Jewish guy, and he goes, well, do you want a Jew History Month? It's like, no, I don't want that. And Morgan Freeman simply just said, neither do I. You know, Black history is American history. You know, we don't want to be called black anymore. We want to be called African American. You're American. Why can't we just call you American? I don't identify as Irish American or Italian American or French Canadian American. I'm American. You're American. That's what the country is. You know, you can read about it in books all the time, the Founding Fathers. They were calling us the Great Melting Pot. That was their goal. I know they were slave owners and racist assholes, but they acknowledged it. That was the goal. That was what they saw the United States could be. They didn't say they wanted it. They saw it could be that. All creeds mixing together. And they were under the impression that we would become like one nation. We'd be our own thing. Like a mix of everything. I'm a mutt. It's all white mutt. I guess the closest thing I have to not white in me is still pretty fucking white. Italian. You can't tell in the video. I still look quite pasty. You can tell I'm white. But next to my girlfriend, I'm a lot darker than she is, and I have a tiny bit of Lithuanian in me. Still very white, because the rest is Irish, French Canadian, English, German, Russian. I'm white, about as white as you could possibly get, and I don't know what it's like to not be white. I can never understand it. I can understand what it's like to be put down. I can understand that. That's it though. When you get into reasons why I'm being put down. I had a lot of, feelings of, insecurity when I was younger, and people would call me gay, and I'd get upset, I'd get angry, I'd get pissed off, I'd get violent, I'd get depressed. But nobody's ever come at me over the color of my skin or my gender. And that sucks. And back to what I was saying, Morgan Freeman was just going on and on. Do you want a Jew History Month? He said, no, I don't want that. He got almost offended. And he was just simply, why would I want one then? He said, black history is American history. And the guy just asked him, well, how do you deal with racism then? And Morgan Freeman said the most honest response I've ever heard about racism. And I do agree with it. Is stop talking about it. I understand people being pissed off and feeling like they're not being heard and they're being treated differently, and you very much are, and it's the unfortunate truth. Some people, especially down south, it's where my roots are, you're not going to change their mind. You can protest all you want, you can tear down statues, you will not change their mind. The people that are hearing you already agree with you. The people who aren't hearing you, that you want to hear you and you want them to stop believing what they believe, aren't going to listen. It's a moot point. It's just enticing violence. Like, what do you think the government wants you to worry about? Fucking statues and racism? Or foreign policy and fucking our economy? You gotta think about that too. We are all very much, no matter who we are, that's the one thing that, the two things in this world that will treat you equally no matter what, is the system. I know it's hard hearing it for me because I'm on the upper end of the system. Technically, I'm not wealthy. I'm big into that. The middle class is being phased out. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. If that happens, there's nobody in the middle. And I don't face the same struggles, but I still do struggle. I struggle finding work. I have a large network of people that'll help me. I'm a member of the community. My community helps me. I've gone to food banks. I've done what I had to do. I've slept outside. I survive. And you're part of the system. I could have ended up in the child care system, child protective services. That's a bad system. That system don't give a fuck who you are. You can get put in a bad home where you're beaten and just used as a paycheck, not fed, not taken care of. You get linked up with people like that. They could be the real nice looking waspy white people, and they will treat all of their kids like shit. That's the system we're part of. We can't escape that. You can try to change it. You can try to, I don't know. I was born in a rural area, and then I moved to a little suburb. That's where I grew up. I don't know what it's like to be raised in Detroit or Compton, Harlem, Southie. I don't know what it's like to be raised there. I don't. I've been to all those places. I've stayed in all those places. I've met really bad people in those places. I was a bad person in some of those places. And I met really fucking good people that were just trying to make an honest living and cut their own path. And I know people now, a buddy of mine that I see every Friday, he's born and raised in Southie, right in the projects. He's in D Block. And he's a manager at a business. He ended up moving out of Southie. He changed his roots. His family had been living there for fucking 100 years. In poverty, struggling. You know, he grew up with all sorts of friends struggling just like he was, and he got his way out of it. Granted, yes, it was probably easier because he's white. Not probably, it was easier. We were given more opportunities, and I'm sorry about that. I can't apologize for all white people. I am sorry about that. And but I've known people. The guy I worked with at I don't know that I want to say the name of my previous employer because they're also a large place. He came here from Puerto Rico. He learned English, and he tried. He tried even teaching me Spanish, and I don't know if I'm too stubborn to learn it or feel I don't have to learn it. I've been interested. I can ask you for a bag of dope on the street in Spanish. That's not exactly a good life skill, but he ended up working at the same place as me, and he was better at his job. It was funny. Not funny. The place we worked at was a temp service. So, you know, you go in there, you work out as a temp, you don't get benefits, you get paid like shit, you get treated like shit. And, it goes off like a pop sheet, whoever's been there the longest, when there's a spot open up specifically for temps to fill, so still entry level. So usually you just end up doing the same shitty job you were doing, they just bump your pay up a little bit. And, he started there a year before I did. I was there about 8 months. I got called in the HR's office, and they said, you know, I was eligible for this job. I was like, oh, that's awesome, perfect. That'll help me out a ton. I'm living in a sober house. I'm not really making all that much money. I can't afford to fucking buy new clothes. Like, I'm paying rent, my phone bill, my girlfriend's phone bill, some of her debt. This was my ex. I wasn't making that much money. And, so they told me. I was super pumped. I was excited. I was ready to tell everybody. I walked over, and my buddy Lance was there. I was telling him about it. And he's like, how long have you been here? I was like, yeah, I was like 8 months, I think. 7 or 8 months. And he says, I've been here over a year. I was like, oh, they must be waiting to call you. Maybe they just called me first. Week went by, they didn't call him in. I went down there, asked to look at the pop sheet. They'll blatantly show you. He was 1, I was 2. And I was sitting there, I was like, this is kind of fucked up. And I asked him, I was like, well, what's going on with him? Why isn't he getting hired? I was like, I know you're not supposed to tell me, but does he have like a disciplinary thing? No. And I knew the answer, no. He had better attendance than me. He'd never been talked to. He always just showed up, did his job, went a little above and beyond, showed up early, left late if he had to. He did everything he was supposed to do. And I turned down the job in hopes that they would give it to him. They gave it to the guy under me. I was there for 6 months. He has since been hired. It all worked out in the end because how the temp agency worked, it scaled. So if you'd been there 2 years, you would make, when you got hired, you would make the max for that job. So he ended up getting hired almost at the 2-year mark. But it was really fucked up. And that's the system we're part of. I lost out hoping he would gain, and we just ended up both losing out. And then he was even like, why the fuck did you just not take it? That was dumb. I was like, because you deserved it. Like, he did. I had a shit attendance. I got in arguments with my bosses. On paper, he was better at the job than me. He had been doing it longer. He trained me how to do it. Like, I was not better at it. I was whiter at it. And that's fucked up, and that's part of the system we're in. And the other thing that doesn't care who the fuck you are is drugs and alcohol. It doesn't. You can be an addict any color you want. It don't care. If you're an addict, you will use till you die, or you'll get sober like I did. And I want to leave you on that to just digest it a little bit. The system our government created, the only thing equal to it, where you have no choice where you stand in it, is drugs and alcohol, and addiction and alcoholism. That's really fucked up. That's yucky. That's yucky. And you can go back a couple videos in my one on community. I should probably title them something better than 1, 2, 3, 4. But I don't know. I'll let you search it out. I believe it is my first video. I was hammering home the sense of community. That's how you fix it. Your neighbors will listen to you. The country will not. Fuck, your neighbor might not listen to you, but you can try to talk to them. They can see you. I was raised in a racist home. That's how I was raised. Am I racist now? I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, it's hard because if I try not to defend myself for it, people will just think I'm a racist. And as soon as I try to defend myself, I seem to say racist things. Not racist things. Yeah, no, not racist things. But, typical white thing. I'm not racist, I have a black friend. To me, that's racist. My buddy Will is African American, and he's my friend Will. My friend Mike is Puerto Rican, and he's my friend Mike. I don't go, yeah, my Puerto Rican buddy Mike. No, he's just my buddy Mike. We fucking joke around, fuck around. He drinks fucking, what's he drink? Either Bud Light or Corona. And, we hang out and fucking listen to music, shoot the shit, talk about women, talk about life. Will, I don't talk to much anymore, so now he moved. He was my neighbor. Back in Springfield. I can say where I used to live, Springfield. That's it. That's all I really got going on in my life. It's my thoughts about nothing. If you haven't heard it, if you made it this far, the rap slam Eminem did on Trump was pretty good. I saw a meme the other day. I don't know how rap battles work, but does this mean Eminem's our president now? It's pretty good. He says some good stuff. But anyway, thanks for listening to me. I was saying in 30 years, if it helped one person, it'd all be worth it, and it's helping me. I get my thoughts collected. I watch my own videos. When I get stuck, I can go, alright, what was I feeling this day? I'd like to do it every day, but it's not realistic. I can't guarantee Saturday and Sunday, though, because I'll be bored as fuck at work. You'll see me with my black shirt with the logo clipped over. And that's probably the next time you'll see me, unless I make one tomorrow. But I hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.